Kidversations, small voices, big stories.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kidversations. Today's guest is the guy who's usually behind the camera, filming and telling amazing stories through pictures and videos.
That's right. He's a photographer and a filmmaker who helps bring cool projects to life, including this show. Let's welcome Wallace Moura. Hi, Wallace. We're so happy to have you on our podcast.
I'm very happy to be in the podcast too.
Can we learn a little bit more about you?
I guess so. I'm afraid so.
How are you afraid so?
Because I hate to be in front of cameras.
Oh, that makes sense why you're behind camera.
I know, right? I never expect to be here.
How did you first get interested in filmmaking?
Well, I studied with photography first. I did not do any movies before. So when I was 13 years old, my father gave me a camera. And I fell in love with taking pictures. And I took pictures only until 2017. Then that's when I started making videos as well.
What special occasion did you get your camera for?
I don't remember. I think it probably was my birthday. And my father's the one that gave it to me. And it was a Russian camera, by the way. It was really, really nice by that time. I mean, it was not a digital camera. I bet if I show you the camera now, you won't even know how to work.
What was your first video or photo you ever took?
Well, photo, I have no clue. I was 13 when I got the camera. Probably animals. I love animals. I love taking pictures of nature. But video, the first one was about Pauline Escarcela. She was a missionary in Brazil for 53 years, but she was born in Bristol in 1932. So I made a documentary about her, and that was the first video I ever made.
What kind of camera do you use?
Now I use Sony cameras. So it's one camera is good for pictures and video, and the other camera is just more of a cinema camera because I make movies now. But the camera that I got first was a Zenith 11th. It's a Russian camera. So it still uses film. So you probably never seen, but instead of putting memory cards in the camera, we buy a little roll, which is a film. It's like a little strip, like super long, but it's rolled up inside. So we open the camera, put that thing there, twist the camera, and then you load that film, and you had only 12 or 22 clicks with one film. Yeah. Now it's much easier and cheaper because it used to be very expensive to take one picture that time. Each picture was expensive. Now you can just use memory cards and you can shoot as many photos as you want to.
I have a camera, and it only fits 10 clicks, and it said it's like $50 to get them.
Oh, so you do have one of those film cameras then. You cannot see the result picture as soon as you click, right? You have to send the film somewhere. So it's developed.
Yeah. Well, it like kind of rolls and then comes out.
Yeah. And the bad thing is you cannot see how the picture came out until it comes back to you by mail. Yeah. Yes. So you click today and you would have to wait about 2 weeks so you can see the picture that you took.
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Tough times.
What is the coolest thing you took a picture of?
The coolest thing I took a picture of, I think it was the eye of an ant. Yeah. So I use a special lens, and you have to put the camera close to the ant, and it's kind of a magnifier. So actually, it was interesting to see how many little dots there are in the eye of an ant. So that was the coolest one, I guess.
What was the first movie you've filmed?
The first movie, it was a documentary, if you consider that a movie. But after that, I made a little short film that it's about bullying and autism. It's called Overcoming, and it's available on Amazon Prime.
Do you like taking pictures or videos better?
Very hard question. I think, oh wow, I like both. I used to do those pictures, so as soon as I start making movies, I really fell in love. It's different, so I would say I like more, but I also miss taking pictures. I like taking pictures a lot, so I guess I like both the same.
Is pictures or videos harder?
I think videos are harder because you need to do the image well, just like the pictures, but also you need to worry about moving the camera. So you have all those camera moves, and then you have to worry about sound because a video with a bad sound is terrible. So yeah, I think video is harder because you have to pay attention to a lot more stuff than just pictures.
Is there any tricks to learn how to take a good photo?
Yes, I'd say there's a lot of online courses that you can look at it, and it's free nowadays, so you find a lot of stuff. But I think taking looking at the pictures and see why you like those pictures, you question yourself, why do I like it? Or what's wrong with this picture? So when you ask yourself those questions, then you start evaluating and you find your own taste for the picture, because some people like more brighter colors, some people like more black and white. So you have to put your own feelings there too. But yes, if you can have access to some kind of hints and information, or somebody teaching you, then it's gonna be quicker for you to learn and easier.
Did you get any hints or anything from someone?
Yes, at that time we didn't have internet. Okay, I am Jurassic. I'm old. So at that time we didn't have internet. So I did make a photography course, but the course was actually mailed to me. So it was like the books were mailed to me. So I had to do all those tests and send them the results by mail, and they would send back to me and all that. But yeah, now it's easier. Now you can go online and start your course right then.
What is the hardest part of taking videos?
The hardest part of taking videos is lighting, because a lot of people, they believe the camera is the most important part of having a nice video, and it's not the camera, it's actually lights. And if you don't have a good lighting, there is no way you're going to have a good video. And lighting is something a little bit more complicated than just operating a camera.
Did you get better taste the more you've done filmmaking?
Oh yes, when I look behind and I look the first film, like you asked me what was my first film, at that time I felt proud for what I did. But now I look back and I say, oh my goodness, I could have made so much better. So yeah, the more you practice, the better you get, and you improve, and it becomes easier, and you can reach closer to what you have in your mind. Then you can reach that same feeling that you want to put in the video.
What is your favorite kind of photo?
My favorite kind of photo is wild animals. I like wildlife. That's the best thing. So I do go hiking with a group sometimes at Steels Creek Park. And I like to stop and look around and take pictures, and even taking pictures of insects. I mean, you can do very nice pictures, just little animals or mushrooms. There's a lot of tiny things around you that you can make nice pictures.
Have you ever been in any filming contest?
Yes, I've been in a couple of film contests. One is for the city of Bristol, They asked us to make a video to promote the city, so young people could come here for the weekend and enjoy the city. And we made a video that explores the fact that the city of Bristol is within two different states, and it was a comic video. And there was two different categories, and that video won one of the categories. And yeah, and I participate on those contests that you have like only 2 days to make a movie, and you don't know nothing about what you're gonna have to do, and they give you the rules and they tell you what the movie needs to be about, and then you have only 2 days to make it happen. So I participate on those two. It's fun. It's a lot of stress, but it's fun.
Do you get nervous showing your work to other people?
Not really. I don't get nervous because I'm always open for critiques, and I think that's how we learn the best. Because sometimes I don't see a mistake that I made, and somebody goes and point, "Oh, look, I think over here you made a mistake." Then I can learn how to avoid that mistake to happen again. And I like even better when someone points some mistake that I made, because then I can learn from what I did. Then people who look and say, "Wow, that's such a nice work," but they don't point mistakes, and then I don't learn and I can't improve. Yeah, I like when people like my work, but it doesn't bother me when someone points some mistakes that I made, because that's the way I can learn more and do better next time.
How do you stay creative when you're tired?
Oh, it's hard. Um, and that's one thing I don't like to film events, for example, because you have to do that specific day, and sometimes you're not in a good mood, you know. And when you're making a movie, you still have dates, you still have to set dates up, but I think you have a chance to be more creative and even take breaks, and you can redo something that didn't go well. You can just go ahead and do it again. Events make me nervous, like weddings make me super nervous to film weddings, because can you imagine if you make a mistake in somebody video for a wedding? That's a bad mistake. You don't want to do that. So they make me very nervous.
How do you make scenes look exciting or emotional?
I think to make a scene exciting, it needs to be more than just dialogues. You know, there's a lot of movies that there is a lot of dialogue involved and nothing happens. You know, it's just conversations. So it gets boring, in my opinion. And as far as being emotional, when you're dealing with something that happened in your everyday life, you know, doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. It can be just memories, or it can even be something that it's so good that make you cry. But when it's based on something that brings some kind of message back to you, you know, and it kind of make you think, make you wonder about what you've seen, that's when it can get very emotional.
When you get advice from someone, do you sometimes think it's like a bad choice and you don't use that advice?
No, I always consider it, and I always thank someone who gives me any kind of advice. But sometimes I disagree, and it's okay. You know, nobody needs to be right or wrong all the time. You know, so sometimes, yeah, I see they're right. I made a mistake. It could be better. Or sometimes I say, okay, I just think different. You know, I have a different taste. I have a different vision of what you said, and not necessarily I'm gonna have to follow your advice. You know, if I disagree with it.
Do some people point out the same mistakes twice?
If that happens, then you better pay attention to what they're saying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if somebody points something and you disagree and you don't see what's wrong there, but somebody else comes and tell you the same thing, you better stop and see what's really wrong about it, if more than one person sees it. And if you don't, then maybe you are just missing an opportunity to fix something and do better next time. And you're going to keep on doing the same mistake if you don't look at it.
Are all the sounds real?
Sounds in movies are usually not real. Have you watched a movie called A Quiet Place? No, it's actually a horror movie, and there are those creatures that they can see you, but they can only hear sounds, and if you make any sound, it's gonna track them. And they had their own way of communicating through their own sounds, which were clicking sounds, and those sounds were made with a taser on grapes. Yeah, and when you see people fighting and you hear those bones cracking, it's actually celery that they break and make that sound. Yeah, so those sounds are made in a lab, and it's like a studio for those type of sounds, and it's called Foley because who created that technique was a man whose name was Foley, so they baptized the technique as Foley, and I love that. Footsteps. You don't put microphones on nobody's foot there. That somebody's walking, but then you hear those footsteps in a museum, and then it is a microphone and somebody is walking, but it's on the studio. So they watch the video and see what speed the person's walking, and they do the same thing. And if it's on snow, for example, they put a little box with sand, like play sand, and they walk on the sand, and it makes the same crunchy sound as you walking on the snow. Yeah, it's all fake. Sorry. But I love that.
When people are like singing on a movie, are all of them actually singing, or are they like mouthing it?
Usually they're just mouthing it. It can be the same person singing, but usually it's gonna be recording on the studio, so the voice is more clear, it's more controlled environment, so you don't have a lot of other noises, so you get a better voice, in a music studio. But also sometimes it's not even the same person. Yeah, the Great Showman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
and you have that super nice song, right? How is it? You know how to sing?
no.
No, it's like all the shine of 1,000 spotlights,
Yeah, that's
right? All the stars you see. It's a complete different woman that sings that song. It's not even that woman from the movie. Yeah, so she's just mouthing it.
What do you do on a typical film day?
It really depends on what we're gonna film. And I work in different roles. If I'm working in my own production, usually I know I have to have an eye on everything, like directing everything. But if I am working for somebody else, sometimes I'm just focusing on sound, and sometimes I'm just working on lights for that film, or sometimes I'm just helping with, everything they need. So it really depends on the production.
What's your favorite memory from behind the scene?
I think my favorite memory from behind the scene is when I was actually making the documentary about the missionary I told you about, Pauline, in Brazil. And I met so many people and that became friends, and they were telling their story and the personal stories, and some were happy, some were sad. So I think the best memory on filmmaking is making friends over there during the documentary I made.
What's your funniest thing that ever happened behind the scene?
The funniest thing that happened behind the scene, I think it was a recent short film that I made in South Carolina. And there is this boy that he was kidnapped from a different time, and he was running from a car in one scene, so he had to run because you got to film different angles so many times. So you have to run one time, let's do it again. Now the camera goes from behind the car. Let's do it again. Now the camera goes from the front of the car. Let's do it again. Now we want to have you side by side. So he had to run so many times that he was super tired. And then that night, we were sleeping in the same living room. I was in one couch, he was on another couch. And I woke up in the middle of the night, and it was completely dark. And he was standing in the living room, and he was saying, "Hello? Hello?" And I said, "Landon, what you doing?" And he turned and said, "What happened?" He had no clue where he was. He was so tired that he woke up and he had no clue where he was at. So that was really funny.
How many people does it take to make a good film?
It takes a lot of money to make a good film. Some films, they will cost you $1 million at least. Some films will cost you $20 million. But you can make a film costing you almost nothing, So you still can make a good film with little money if you have volunteers. The point is, when you make a film and it's just you and you have to do everything, you have to do camera, you have to do lighting, you have to do sound, you can't do everything right because there's so much going on at the same time. So if you have a little group that you can share the functions, and one can concentrate just on sound, one concentrate just on guiding the actors, the other one can concentrate just on lighting the scenes, the other one concentrates on the camera. So if you can divide the functions, so that's going to reflect on the movie quality. But to make a feature film, which is a film that has at least an hour and a half, I dare say you have to have at least 30 people working on it.
Do you prefer filming or directing?
I prefer directing it because that way I can guarantee that my vision is going to be on the screen and I can look around and see if everything is being done right. So if I am actually filming, that means if I am holding the camera and worry about operating a camera, moving the camera, I can't take a look at what's going on around me. And sometimes I don't see mistakes that I would see if I wasn't busy doing the camera work. So if it's my own production, I prefer to be directing, make sure that things come my way.
Do you act too?
Unfortunately, I had to act a few times because we just didn't have enough actors for that scene, what we call extras. Sometimes the actor just misses the day, and you can't stop. So unfortunately, I had to act as a policeman in one film. I had to work as a prisoner in the Bristol jail. I had to literally be inside the cell in Bristol jail for another movie. And I had to be one of those rescuers in an ambulance. So one of the doctors. Yeah. So unfortunately, sometimes I have to be in front of the camera. I don't like it.
What advice would you give kids if they wanted to do filmmaking?
If they want to act or if they want to work behind the cameras, in the crew, the best way to learn is for you to practice. So my advice is get involved with some small local productions, even if you volunteer. Since you don't have experience, you can go and volunteer, and you learn from practicing. So you can learn with small roles, acting, or you can learn behind the scenes just as a helper, a general helper behind the scenes. But then you're going to be looking around, you're going to learn from other people, and you're going to learn that way. It's quicker, It's more efficient and it's cheaper than going to a film school. There are film schools like film college, but they're very expensive and you're not going to learn anything very special that you can't learn on a film set for real.
Can anyone film make?
Yes, anyone can, but if you're going to be good or not, it depends on how much passion you have for it. You can only be good if you're doing something that you like. If you don't like it, I mean, it's like, which not necessarily true, because I like the guitar and I really wanted to play the guitar. And I tried 3 times until I realized God did not give me that gift. There's no way I'm going to play the guitar, although I love the guitar. So, yeah, I think you have to be gifted and you have to like it to be good.
Is there anything else you would like to do?
I would like to travel to explore some places that I always wanted to, like Galapagos. So have you heard of Galapagos? No? It's an island and it's very isolated. And the animals that are there, you don't find anywhere else in the world. They're very, very different animals. There is a iguana, a lizard that actually it dives in the ocean and eats the grass that grows in the bottom of the ocean there. So yeah, you have very different animals there. I would love to visit places like this. Australia too, there's a lot of animals, but they're mostly dangerous. So not sure if I would like to go there.
What is your dream project?
I think right now my dream project is a movie called Alice's Eyes. And it's a drama movie that I really want to make. And it's about human trafficking and abuse. So it's a sad film, but it's a reality that people need to be aware of. And the film talks about the life of a girl called Alice. So that's a very, very nice project that I wrote that I would like to do.
How did Kidversations get started?
Once I started my own podcast, a few years ago, and I had a friend that was helping me. And just 1 month after I started the podcast, he passed away. He died. So I didn't want to continue by myself. So I stopped that project. So I always wanted to restart, but I couldn't do by myself. So I said, okay, so what if I'm just behind the cameras and we can make some podcasts happen? And then I remember one show that I used to watch before where kids would interview people that were very unique, either by their jobs or by some medical condition. And I said, oh, that would be nice that kids would run podcasts. So I start idealizing Kidversation, and I think people are liking.
What do you hope for the future of our show?
More than anything, and that's naturally going to happen, is the more you and Charlotte and all the other kids that are now participating on the show, as you all learn a little bit more and feel more comfortable, I guess you all gonna start having more fun doing it. And that's my best expectation for the show, is that you all have fun doing it. I know you both like it, but it's still a little hard for everybody because we're not used to this, it's new. And as that happens, people are going to like even more because they're going to see that we're having fun.
Do you have a message to people watching?
I would like everybody to get involved, to get involved on our films. We create a little film club. That way, people who wants to learn filmmaking, they'll be acting or they'll be helping behind the cameras and learn together hands-on. So, if you want to participate on that, you can contact 353 Studios, or people get involved with our podcast. Just send us questions or suggest whatever guests you think the kids should be inviting here to this table.
Wallace, thank you for being here and showing us what it's like to see the world through a camera lens.
Yes, thank you for coming here on this side of the table and not over there running the cameras.
Yeah, I cannot say it was a pleasure, but to be in front of the camera, which I hate, but it's a pleasure to be here with you all.
How dare you?
I know, right? High five. There we go.
And to everyone watching, thanks for joining us.
And we'll see you next time on Kidversations.
Bye.
Bye.
Kidversations, small voices, big stories.